Alright, what's going on, good people? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm coming at you guys with another take on Galaxy Eyes. This one's gonna be TCG Legals, you guys. I know I keep using Afterglow in a lot of my deck profiles, so this one is not gonna be an Afterglow based build, and it's also gonna be playing less cards. For the build with Afterglow, you know, cards may vary in different card choices. Like Dragon Shrine is more viable in that deck because you could easily convert Soul Flare to add the, basically to add the Afterglow after you shrine it, and then just special it, and you can extend even further. But with Afterglow not out yet, I kind of just want to have a template for you guys to actually use with no Afterglow. So this list currently is still powerful. To make it even stronger, you could even side deck one of the Destruction Swords so that you have a better way of playing around like Super Poly and basically cards like Dark Ruler no more. But I'm going to get into the main deck and I'll explain basically the because there's kind of segments of the deck, and each pile of cards is going to be categorized in different segments, but some of them are interchangeable in the sense that they can basically be utilized in multiple different purposes, which makes them basically like flex cards. So let's go ahead and get into the main deck. So we're starting off with 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes. This card is very important for the deck. With Afterglow, he's so important that you literally need 1 for Afterglow, you need 1 for your Galaxy Knight play, and you need 1 for your Soul Flare. But without Afterglow, you can actually just utilize 2. So even if, for example, you only played 2 without Afterglow, you would only need 2 for your standard combos turn 1. You still max out on this card because it's absolutely a necessity for a lot of your combo plays to go off. You even max out on the cards that search it out too. It's really important to get this card. Just super duper powerful. It's effective in grave, it's effective in hand, it's effective on field. Like, the card's just insane. Galaxy Eyes is very important. Kind of like how Blue Eyes and Dark Magician is to their deck. And then continuing, so this is going to be the categories that I was explaining. We're playing 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier is a flexible card. It can be an extender, it could be a starter, it could even be a recovery card because it could search a card like Galaxy Cleric to put your extra deck pieces back. And that is just insane. Like, the utility with this card. Like, there's so much utility with some of these cards just for the simple fact that they can put bodies on field while searching out virtually anything that you need. That's what makes them extenders, follow-ups, and starters at the same time. And then we're playing 3 copies of Orbital. This card's insane, you guys. Very, very powerful card. Equip this to your Starleech Photon Blast turn 1, and you've got dang near an indestructible board. That it's just going to be super hard. Playing through your negates and then trying to crack your board, it's just going to be really, really tough. Orbital is insane. Just like Galaxy Soldier, he can be virtually anything. The beauty of these 6 cards right here is they don't require for you to normal summon, so you can still drop your Knight, or you can even go into your Wizard. Wizard Expedition is a really, really good combo in this deck as well. I know some people play 2 Wizards or even 1 Wizard, but I actually love opening Wizard. I max out on my consistency cards, the ones that can get me to the integral combo pieces, the ones that really, really matter. So that's why I personally just love 3 Galaxy Wizards. It's a sweet spot for me. Very similar to those cards, it's very flexible and multi-purpose. It searches any Galaxy card and changes its level for Expedition plays. It's incredible, and it's not actually once per turn to search. Really, it's just soft once per turn on everything. So like cards that can bring it back, you can just use it again. And then we're also playing 3 copies of Photon Vanisher. He's the weakest of these cards, but he's still an extender. He still basically can be a starter as well. The only thing is he's not really a recovery play unless you have a way to basically get Galaxy Knight out. So if you have a way to get the Galaxy Eyes that you search off of him in grave and get Galaxy Knight, he can be a recovery. But for the most part, he's going to be a starter and an extender for you. And because all of these are light monsters, they can all be converted into Union Carrier just randomly out of nowhere, which is crazy. So this first pile of cards is very, very important. So actually, I think I should keep it like this so I can go ahead and show you guys. Yeah, I guess I'll show you when we get to the spells, because normally, if you guys notice in my profiles, I'll even showcase the spells like Sanctuary next to these cards, because Sanctuary effectively is the equivalent of a Photon Orbital or Soldier, because it can search out any of those cards. The same thing with Expedition, because Expedition can trigger out Soldier, so it's like your consistency cards, you have more ways to see them, even if you're not hard drawing them. This deck is just mad consistent. I don't know if anybody was saying like they have bricking problems. It probably is just more of a ratio issue than a bricking problem, because this deck has more than enough searchers, more than enough extenders. It has more than enough archetype specific cards to do the job that it's meant to do. But these cards next coming up are going to be like weaker extenders. But this is the strongest of the weaker extenders, even though that sounds pretty counterintuitive to say. Galaxy Brave, the reason why he's a weaker extender is because he does not replace itself. But in tandem with an additional monster on field, you can easily summon Soul Flare or cards like Union Carrier, and that will allow you to kind of just replenish what you burn for him. But because he modifies his level, he makes Bujinki Ashima plays, he makes rank 4 plays, he makes Abyss Dweller plays, he can make rank 8 plays. He can also ulti K your opponent out of nowhere because he actually gains the attack of a Galaxy Engrave. So he's pretty powerful himself. Brave is just incredible, you guys. Honestly, you definitely do want to play 3. You don't have to, but this card's just way too powerful a card to not see in your opening hand, and I'd rather not burn a search on it if I don't have to, because it's really that good. It's like your Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, except imagine if Alternative could change his level and get more than 3,000 attack. That's what Galaxy Brave is. So I would say I'd slide these into little piles like that. So those are like the strongest cards in your deck for your monsters. But continuing on with the Brave, so moving forward, we're playing 2 copies of Galaxy Knight. Galaxy Knight, you could play it at 3, but I'd rather play more Wizards than Knights because Wizard is a strong card by itself. With Knight, you have to both set up your grave and make sure that you have a body on field to get him. It's not always hard to do, but because he requires extra work, it's a card you'd rather search out than hard draw multiples in general. So I think 2 Knight for me has just been working. I do have the 3rd. I've played 3 in the past, but that was before we got the new support, before we got Orbital, before we got all these good cards. So basically, he's like an extender as well, but most of the time, the way you use him is like a starter at the same time. So that's where the flexibility comes, where these are starters and they could be extenders. Unfortunately for my man Photon Thrasher, he can only be a starter because of his effect. You have to control no monsters to use him. So he's only going to start your plays. And while he has no effect and he's just a 21 body, he's really powerful for the sense that you can get a Photon name on field without normal summoning for cards like Photon Orbital, for cards like Vanisher and Thrasher and things of that. I mean, not Vanisher. For cards like Vanisher and Advancer, things of that nature, it's really, really powerful. It just helps you up. Because in order to make some of your plays, you do just have to get a body on field before you normal summon, and that's just true. And then we are playing 1 copy of Advancer. Theoretically, you're actually playing more of it because you could search it out, and on top of that, you have Rhoda to search it in addition to all of your R-type specific cards that can access it. But naturally, you won't search this. It's just a really, really good extender as well. It actually just helps you in general with your Bushingi Ashima plays, with your Dweller plays, with your Starleech Photon Blast, because that's an extender on summon as well. So your extenders can be turned into even more extenders, which is crazy once you get into your extra deck. This is one of the sweet spots in the deck. I'm playing 1 Cleric. This is not going to change. Like, I respect the grind game, and this deck actually can grind very consistently and rather well. And in fact, it doesn't really bother the deck to grind. You know, if you want to put this deck under a simplified game state, it can thrive, especially because it just has gigantic monsters. In addition to be able to recuperate all my resources from grave, regenerate the same board that I made turn 1 off of 1 Photon Sanctuary. It's crazy. Continuing with the weaker extenders, like I was saying, this card is just more or less a recovery play. It's like kind of like a tempo swing at the same time. It's basically your, I guess you could say Digosaur Emerald / Pot of Avarice for the archetype though, which makes it stronger because it's searchable and you can recruit off Soul Flare. But anyways, continuing, we're playing 1 copy of Nebula Dragon. This card actually got cut down to a lower ratio because I've been finding, even testing, that when I would use this card, it's like, dang, I have to basically pick and choose which play I would make. Meaning I have to either use the Galaxy Eyes for what I was going to do in the first place, or I have to change my mind and use this to get a Titanic Galaxy that I normally could summon. So not saying that it's a bad card, but it's definitely something that you don't have to play 3 of in this list. But if you're playing Afterglow, heck yeah, that's a different story. If you're playing Afterglow, you want to play more copies of Nebula, because Nebula Afterglow is just insane, you guys, especially going second. But this list is TCG legal, so their ratios are going to be a little bit different. But you might want to play 2 to 3 if you're playing Afterglow. The card is just really, really insane for what it's worth. Very, very powerful card. It can be aggressive going second. Nebula is just nice, you guys. The same with the Galactic Spiral Dragon. Galactic Spiral Dragon is another one of those flexible extenders where it's just going to become a follow-up after you use it to extend your combo plays. It's a follow-up in graveyard every turn. So long as you choose not to use Sanctuary, you can utilize this effect. But most of the time, once I start looping Sanctuaries, I don't stop because I just get Sanctuary off of Lord just every time because Sanctuary just busts you guys. So that's going to be it for the monsters. Now, moving forward to the spells. we're playing the best spell in this deck, you guys. 3 Sanctuary, and it's not once per turn. Unlike Expedition and unlike the other archetype-specific Galaxy spells, this is not once per turn, which is broke. The card is literally like, it's a 1-card Soul Flare, it's a 1-card Bushingi. It makes any of your links. Okay, it makes Soul Flare, it makes Union Carrier, it makes Ashima. Can you imagine all the combo plays you can do off of Sanctuary? The card's just busted. And it's one of the best recovery cards in the deck. Your board gets broken, use Sanctuary for Soul Flare, grab Knight, normal Knight, make your Lord, use Lord to loop for another Sanctuary. And once you run out of Soul Flares and Lords, you'll just end up using the Lord to search for Clerics so that you can use Cleric, put your stuff back, and keep doing the loop. It's like Sunlight Wolf in a way. If you think about it, you just keep summoning Lord over and over and over, and Soul Flare over and over and over. This card is just insane, you guys. And it's a Union Carrier, so this in equivalence is nearly the same thing as opening Orbital, except it gets you a body on field, which is kind of like a surplus of advantage though. It technically could have been with the pile with the Soldier, the Orbitals, the Vanishers, and also the Galaxy Wizards, because it really is that powerful of a card. It's literally like a Rhoda. And then we're also playing 3 copies of Galaxy Expedition. This card is bonkers, you guys. It's an extender, it's a starter. It can even be a recovery play because Soldier can search for your recovery card. So you want to just like constantly make sure that you have access to this in Sanctuary. So if you already have one of these in hand, you'll just use the Lord to search out the other one that you didn't have. Because the spells like these 6 spells right here are extremely powerful in this deck, and they really do help out with your game plan, including playing through hand traps. Like, whenever your Galaxy Soldier gets Ash, Impermed, or Valor, you can always follow up with an Expedition, which is just incredible. Just following up with Expedition, you could just then just summon out, you know, your Galaxy Knight. Because basically, like, there's plays where you can go Galaxy Soldier, discard Galaxy Eyes, and then they Valor it, or Ash it, and then you could just go Expedition, summon out Galaxy Knight, link him and Soldier into Soul Flare, target Galaxy Knight, add it from grave to hand, normal him, bring back the Galaxy Eyes you pitched for cost. You played through the hand trap, you end on Soul Flare and Lord. It's crazy. So Expedition is insane, you guys, including playing through the gates. So these are kind of your consistency cards. Now for this list, I am playing Desires because we're not playing Afterglow. We're not playing certain cards that we normally do play. Also, there's a build that I had that's on YouTube. It was a 2nd place. It wasn't undefeated. It was just 2nd place Galaxy Eyes. That was playing Desires in that list as well. So as you guys can see, I'm back and forth with it, but for this list, Desires is absolutely fine. Because without Afterglow, you don't need all 3 Galaxy Eyes. It's nice to have 3 of them, but you do need at least 2. So that's just something you want to be careful of. You do want to try to search it out before, because Galaxy Eyes is just that important. But at the same time, this card, for you to play competitively, it's actually a good tempo card as well. 3 copies of Trade-In, which it's a little bit safer to get hand trapped on Trade-In, because at least you don't lose your engine cards, and you can still fetch back the resource that you discarded for cost from grave. So these 12 spells just really help you to increase the consistency of the deck. You already have all your searchers for your monster lineup, which just gives you like so much advantage. And then these just help you to dig for whatever you didn't have already opening hand. For some one-ofs, I'm playing 1 copy of Trance. You can easily play more than 1. Honestly, the card's incredible. I played a build that had 3 of it. But because I'm so prone to summon Union Carrier almost every turn, it's just like it contradicts with this because you can't actually do that. So if you're not really fixated on Union Carrier, this card is insane at multiples. It's really, really powerful. I do recommend you play like 2 to 3. Honestly, it's just that strong. Like Galaxy Trench is super slept on. In your opening hands, like you can place so many hand traps just having it there. 1 copy of Galaxy Zero, another great extender for the deck. We're playing 1 Rhoda. Rhoda is an extender as well because you search out your free bodies that just special. And then we have 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial has utility. You can dump Galactic Spiral. You can also dump cards like Galaxy Eyes, so you can add them back off of Soul Flare. You can even, if you have a Galaxy Eyes in grave, you could just Foolish Burial for Galaxy Knight, make Soul Flare to add the Galaxy Knight. So it's really, really cool how you can just meld your hand. Then add Galaxy Knight, Gnome him, bring out Galaxy Eyes. So Foolish has a lot of utility, even if it's just like to send the Photon Orbital and add it off of Soul Flare. And it also sets up Bushingi Ahashima plays, and it sets up for a Trance. Like Foolish plus Trance is a 2-card combo that can get you out a Lord. Actually, it gets you out more because you could basically Foolish Galaxy Eyes, Galaxy Trance into Galaxy Eyes, bring out Galaxy Knight, link those into Flare, use Flare to add the Knight, normal Knight, bring out Galaxy Eyes. So that's a 2-card combo, these 2, that get you Galaxy Eyes and Soul Flare. I mean, Photon Lord and Soul Flare. So it's just really, really powerful, the deck in general. And finally, to finish up the back rows, we're just playing 3 copies of Transmigration. Because you can't search this, I really do like maxing out on it. It's incredible to open up with it. You play around Dark Ruler no more, which can be a problem sometimes. And it ends chain links. This is like one of the most broken traps in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you guys. It's definitely super duper powerful, and it catches people off guard. Let's see. 15 in. Alright, so for the extra deck, we have 2 copies of Soul Flare, 1 Union Carrier, 1 Hashima. These links are just insane, you guys. If I had space, I would play another Union Carrier because it's just so insane mid to late game. Like, Union Carrier becomes like one of the strongest links in your deck. After turn 1, when you've already got the things you need, you just use it to kill your opponent. It's crazy, including the attack boost. Like, Union Carrier is just so strong in this deck, it's ridiculous. And the same with Soul Flare. Like, these are like really, really powerful links for any situation or any state of the game that you're in. These are always going to be good. But with this, it's a little bit situational, and also at the same time, it does give you something that the deck doesn't necessarily have, which is a way to interrupt back rows. So Ashima is still pretty strong in its own right, because you don't really have ways to pop back rows in your opponent's turn consistently. I mean, going second, you have the Galaxy Eyes package, but Hashima helps you because you could basically put a Lord there, you could negate and then pop a back row. So this card really helps you out. For the XYZs, we play 2 Lord. You definitely want to play 2. It's perfect at 2. Not 3, not 1, just 2. It's once per turn anyways. You just want 2 so you can do the loop. 1 Titanic. By the way, I'm not playing Draglublion, even though the card's good. My extra deck's just different, and I really, really value Photon Sanctuary a lot. 1 copy of Felgrand, even though I'm not playing the Afterglow build, because this is really insane for Galaxy Eyes Afterglow. Still, this card is just an additional monster negate that I can put off turn 1 that I can still detach for its effect as well, which really does help. But just in general, because this is typically the only monster negate you could get out, having more for those heavy combo decks is really necessary. So Felgrand is just insane, you guys. The Galaxy Eyes package, you know, break boards, make boards. And we have Nova and Infinity. We have Blast, which is mandatory in any list. You should play Blast. Nova Infinity, I feel like, is just staple at this point. And Abyss Dweller was the flex spot. It could have been a second Titanic, but Abyss Dweller is just way too strong in almost every single format. There's certain decks that just automatically lose to Dweller. So, yep, that's the deck profile, you guys. Really hope that you enjoyed it. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then we'll be out. So, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord. And please forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power, forever. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen. All right, yo, this is wild.